There are some weird noises in the room. It is nearing me. I can now feel its wet touch. I woke up and immediately, out of pure reflexes, tried to grab it or push it away, but my arm felt nothing and just swayed through thin air.
Please. I like you. Let's start as friends. I love... Accept this.
No. Thank you kindly, but no. Frustration, dismay, anger, disappointment, offense, sadness. I have seen these emotions many times. A love confession shouldn't be like this, right? It's almost a chore at this point. Presume I am attractive. I do sport regularly. It's not a big deal to make my body, look fit. But is it the only thing that matters? Is it the only thing that is looked for in a potential partner? All kinds of girls asked me out after school. Pretty girls, beautiful girls, cute girls, regular girls, plain ones, skinny ones, chubby ones. Also sexy girls as well. I've seen all of them. They are so easy, it's sickening. The bell rang and the school day was over. I went down the stairs towards the changing area. They usually put their love letters into my outwear's pockets. Do they have some kind of a rule that if a girl finds another girl's letter in a pocket, she just waits for her turn and leaves that other girl be? I mean, I have never met two girls waiting for me after school. But maybe they do fight with each other, tearing their letters, pulling each other's hair. Maybe the one that waits for me is the winner of the day. Who knows? I took my jacket. All pockets were empty. Good. Means I don't have to stay here longer than I want to. I sometimes think that the girls are just tiny animals looking for attention, for tasty treats. I even left candies in my pockets that one time. But no one took them. It is illegal to poke through someone's pockets, right? Someone was waiting for me near the main entrance. A girl, my age, but from a parallel class, supposedly.
Let us talk. Come with me.
She was blushing, yet said the phrase while looking straight into my eyes. Nah, let us talk right here. No one's here except us. She nodded. Look, let me get straight to it. You were charmed with my, well, charms. So, you want to confess, right? Go out then? Oh, you sweet summer child. I chuckled. She blushed right up to the ears after my last words. Do you even consider the fact that girls aren't allowed to wear bright makeup in our school? She flinched and cast her eyes down.
You brat.
She suddenly kicked me in the knee with quite a kick. Oh, damn. I lost my balance. She turned away to quickly leave the building. Am I mistaken, or was she actually crying while leaving? Well, no helping it. That's me. Smug, aloof, and irresistible. I tossed the hair back from my forehead with one perfectly honed movement, checked my image in the mirror, and made a step towards the exit. What is that? Something moved there, on the other side of the entrance door. I was able to see it through the glass, as if someone was watching me from the outside. I doubt anyone would believe that girl who ran away from me if she decided to buzz about her small talk. But any witnesses might be a problem. I went down on my knee, as if I was tying my shoes. Instead, when nobody could see me from the outside, I darted towards the door. I was right. A girl younger than me. She was now sitting on the ground dazed, looking at me in surprise. She was dressed weirdly. Certainly it wasn't our school uniform. Actually, I had no idea what those clothes were. Might be a drama club? A sewing club? I hastily grabbed her arms and got her back on her feet. So, you saw...
What?
She didn't hear a thing. It's impossible where she stood. We were too far away and behind the door. I tried to somehow avoid compromising myself with a smile. My classmate, we had a quarrel. Not that serious or something.
She looked genuinely upset.
I mean, well, her cat died. I wanted to cheer her up, but as you can see...
A kitty? Dead?
Oh, shit. Me and my big mouth. Maybe it was her hamster?
A cute little hamster?
But the little one was old. Now it's in the catster heaven for cats and hamsters. Please, don't cry. She continued sniffing. Likes animals, probably. I definitely should stick to less provocative topics. By the way, what are these clothes? On you, I mean. I see. Yeah, no. What's that, for real? Are you performing? Cosplaying? She sniffed her nose one more time and looked straight at me with pouted lips.
I told you, it's my garment.
What class are you from? Aren't you maybe a little bit too young to be here? Are you from our school, even? There were several entrances in the building. Their own for junior students, to make sure that big guys won't be able to somehow bump into tiny girls like this one. She's not like our usual junior students, though.
It matters not.
She suddenly pricked me with a ribbon stick, covered with symbols and writings.
Zarpesu Kalagnio Piro, Miktus Harkesha Bako.
Cute. What was that?
It's a safeguard spell. It only works until noon, sadly. Beware, that Bolotnitsa has fixed her eyes on you.
Yeah.
I will come tomorrow to recast my spell.
She bowed hastily, turned away, and just left. Charming. I didn't have crazy followers before, until today. She's just playing some sort of game, right? She did return the next day. That weirdly dressed girl. She was just waiting for me right before the entrance. Look, can you, put on normal clothes? When you are to see me, at least? I nodded at other students who were passing by. They were blatantly staring at my companion's garment. She was diligently tapping me with her sticky thingy, which wasn't at all painful or uncomfortable, so I didn't stop her. After rattling off her yesterday's spell in a tongue-twister manner, she sighed with relief and smiled.
It works. Everything's fine.
What about your clothes? She stretched her arms to the sides and checked her attire.
It's cute, isn't it?
Indeed. But you attract tons of attention.
I will come tomorrow. Wait for me and do not leave before that.
Again, she turned away from me and hastily ran towards the exit, while some students were clearly sniggering at her. My classmate smacked me on the back. Wow, you got yourself a cute admirer. Crazy one. I found a letter in my pocket the next day. I wanted to meet after classes behind the gym. LY. I could have ignored all these. I never do, though. It actually hurts me as well when I reject their confessions. But it can't be helped. I am not to be in someone's possession. It will undoubtedly offend someone else. I know what I'm talking about. I've read stories where girls who start dating fancy and handsome guys, like myself, are always bullied by other girls. No way! The poor sheep in my own flock are tortured this way by me, their faithful shepherd! That's the reason I rejected all of them, but provided a bonus. Something to remember. A brief engagement and introduction with myself. I came to the meeting point and discovered a fair-haired girl, the same year as me, but from a different class, unconscious. Lying right there on the grass. I probably saw her a couple times throughout our shared classes. Hey, you alright? What is that? Drama queening? Is she really unconscious? I shook her by the shoulders. She looked like she was sleeping, her chest rising and falling calmly. But something rammed into my back with force. I suddenly smelled algae. My back felt wet, and someone's fingers, cold and ghoulish, crept up my neck towards my mouth. Something's wrong. Paranormal? Creepy? Supernatural? I don't get it, but I can feel it. I feel dismay. Get off me! I snapped my teeth with a distinct sound right before its fingers, and noticed just out of the corner of my eye that it had long and chipped nails. I swiftly stood up straight and tried to throw off the thing with the help of my arms.
Parka Kireya!
I faintly felt the recoil of 2 slaps aimed to the one sitting on me. It screeched as if in pain and jumped off. I cast a glance in that direction to figure out what's happening. It was on all fours. Its long hair swept the ground, gathering dust and dirt. It wore rags, which were also dripping water. On its back, and also on its leg, there were some kinds of stamps, or seals. Symbols that somewhat resembled symbols on the garmented girl's wand. The long-haired thing was hissing and whimpering, almost like a half-beaten dog. The familiar girl in her garment was standing next to the thing, with her wand pointed at it in a sword-like manner. Everything just looked bizarre. The monster thing, the girl in her weird clothes, another girl who was lying on the grass right before my feet, and all of it was happening behind our regular school building in broad daylight. Suddenly, the monster screamed, darted away, and quickly disappeared at the turn. I reflexively hurried after it. The girl with her wand followed me. But no one could be seen around the corner. Only a puddle that was there because of yesterday's rain.
I told you to wait for me!
What was that?
The Bolotnitsa. I told you.
Whatever. I don't get it.
I told you, and I repeat, the Bolotnitsa is after you. She likes you. That is why I protect you from her. She ran away using this big puddle.
Yeah, puddle. We went back to the place where the Bolotnitsa jumped at me, as she noticed the unconscious girl.
Look, she drained her out of her energy.
What, like a vampire?
No, vampires suck blood. This is a Bolotnitsa. I told you.
The garmented girl pointed at my fellow student on the grass, still unconscious.
This girl needs medical attention. We can't just leave her here, right?
I looked left and right, but nobody was there. Do I want to just ditch her here and escape any responsibility? The garmented girl helped me get her up. The heck? She weighs like nothing.
Side effects. She lost a part of her physical essence.
She was light as feathers indeed. Still, I didn't understand the convoluted explanations. Can you, talk human?
Yes, I can. Let's go. I'll explain. A Bolotnitsa is a kind of rusalka, see? They are usually lost maidens that have drowned and aren't buried. They can be young blokes too sometimes, if they have died in hard feelings or have suffered forceful drowning. They live in Nav, but they can come to our world through a body of water. However, they need physical essence to acquire physical bodies for themselves. So she just took it from this girl.
Huh? Physical essence?
In our world, Yav, everything has its embodiment. So, there is also Nav, a world which goes side by side with ours. It's here, but on another level of understanding. Like a reflection, or your image in a mirror. Nav has shades and souls. Yav has embodiments. In Nav, the Spalatnitsa just sits on your shoulders and hugs you. But you are a living being, and living beings are tied to their bodies. Thus, she can only lick you and hug you, and that's it.
I flinched.
Here in Yav, Spalatnitsa can channel their vengeance and come into being for a brief moment. This one chose a perfect moment and bit the poor victim.
Whoa, hold the phone. What do you mean she bit her? Is she injured?
No. A Spalatnitsa can't harm. Actually, she can't even physically interact in a proper way with an embodiment before having enough physical essence. This one just kissed her and took, well, the ability to be here in...
Is she gonna stay like this?
Do not worry.
I don't. And to be honest, I don't care. I'm just curious.
Her physical essence will get back to her after a while. Our entity is always flowing between Nav and Yab, back and forth, to maintain balance. You've heard about yin and yang, right? This is similar.
Yav, Nav, yin yang, or like schizophasia.
She will be fine in a couple of days. Let her sleep for now.
We managed to make it to the nurse's office. It was unlocked, and also empty, which was a good thing. I want to explain the situation to our nurse, considering I've brought an unconscious 10th grader while followed up by a weirdly dressed girl.
Put her here.
I did what she told me to. My garmented acquaintance took her wand and started muttering quietly some odd words and phrases. Then, she just smacked our sleeping beauty on the forehead. Hey, what are you doing?
This is to anchor her in Yav. It's a buff.
She is crazy, that's for sure.
My name is Iris, by the way. What's your name? Glad to meet you. That was probably rude of me not to tell you everything right from the start. But usually there's no need. All my clients are always pleased with how things turn out for them.
Excuse me?
However, you're just so difficult. I mean, why don't you just accept your buffs and wait until I deal with sprites?
She sat right on the sleeping girl's legs, as if it didn't bother her at all. I sat in front of her.
Oh, wait, yes.
Iris said her words for a spell, and pricked me with her wand. Ow. Hey, can you maybe not do that?
Of course I can't. It won't work without direct physical contact.
I gave her weapon a look over. Black ribbons, made of paper, covered with unknown symbols, were entwining the forking wand. Tiny jingle bells were seen on its sides. Another bell was at the top, hanging on a long chainlet. They trembled and jingled subtly with each movement. So, a magic wand?
More like a rod. Check these. They are, well, writings, sutras. They channel my powers, my desires, and externalize them into our world. Cool, right?
Mm-hmm. Charming. What language is this?
It has no name. It's a lost, forgotten language. No one can even read it, less so understand it. The writings were just copied from the previous source.
Wait, what about the words that you always mutter?
Oh, I invent my spells myself. That's a lot more joyful than being completely silent while poking people with a stick. Also, it helps me concentrate.
And you want me to believe all this?
You don't need to. Do what you usually do, like always. Live your life. You don't actually have to deal with all this stuff. I'll cure you, and then I'll leave.
Despite her words, it felt like she was deeply offended.
My family is in it through generations. I have no need to prove anything to you. It only matters to me that it works.
I'll be on my way then?
Yeah, you go. I'll stay for a while. I mean, I'll just sit here to recover some strength. The guarding spell is working now. This Spalatnitsa won't be able to bother you.
That was insane. I tried to figure out some kind of logical explanation. And I did. She is younger than me. She clearly yearns for my attention. She also isn't the first one to play games around me. I had a couple of fans who acted in almost the same way. The one girl pretended to be a damsel in distress. The other girl was bumping continuously into me with a sandwich in her mouth. About that. Ended up with her choking on her sandwich and me using the Heimlich maneuver. Whew, that was a time. But this time, it's way over the top. Nutcase. It's actually easy to explain. She asked her friends to help. The first one dressed up as a monster. The other one fainted. About her weight, though? Oh no. Well, I never carried anyone before. I guess girls are all pretty lightweighted, and I'm also pretty strong. I exercise regularly. So, this Iris decided to act as my savior. Thus, she figured out she would be able to visit me daily to cast her spells. Witty. My feet, almost without me noticing, took me to the spot behind the building. The path on which that Bolotnitsa had jumped at me still held signs of its presence. 2 sets of wet footprints led towards the huge puddle. The first one led from the puddle to the place of our fight. The second one led back into the puddle. And there were no additional sets of footprints leading away from the puddle to anywhere else. Was it a trick? Or was it actually true? I didn't remember my way home, but I remembered the smell of Mir following me around with haunting persistence. Fingers as cold as tentacles of a sea dweller. I feel their touch again and again. Woozy breath on my neck. I feel it too. I need to take a bath to wash away this feeling. I sat in the tub filled with hot water. The feeling of her cold grip and her weight on my back started to fade away. It's just a prank. I'm being too naive. I closed my eyes and tried to relax. It was a well-played trick. In her footsteps, she just went away using grassy areas. That's it. Iris said that the thing couldn't touch me if under that guard spell. So, even if it is true, I'm safe for now. I don't have to be concerned, right? It's right before me. It stretched its hands to touch me. They can come to our world with a body of water. I jumped up, and the vision faded. Insane. That's it. I've got delirium tremens. There's no girl with a wand. There is no monster. There's only me and my schizophrenia. I left the tub and went to bed. I have to think it through. And consider visiting a psychiatrist. Someone is approaching my bed. Warm droplets of water fall into my nose. I open my eyes, but there is no one in the room. Only wet footprints on the floor remind me of her night visit. I wasn't surprised when I saw Iris after school, waiting for me at our regular spot. Now that's a different story. People are still staring at her, and at us. But it's a start, I guess. Maybe I'll be able to make her behave like a functional member of society.
Hey, was everything fine?
No, it was not. This thing paid me a visit yesterday when I was taking a bath. Also at night.
Well, you are here today. It means my spells are working perfectly.
What's so perfect? Iris, isn't it supposed to, scare sprites off?
No, I told you, it can't touch you, which is most important. And yes, let me just...
She pricked me with her magic stick one more time. Without saying a word, though. Ow, damn. Rude. No fancy sayings today.
This clothing is so bad for spellcraft. No worries, I told you. Verbal acts aren't necessarily needed. It's purely for concentration, to focus.
I nodded. Alright, about that thing then.
You're Bolotnitsa.
Yes, that. Ugh. How long is it gonna take? I don't like to constantly deal with wet floor every morning.
Well, there are several options. To be honest, I never worked with them before.
Wow. Indeed.
But since my guarding spells work, I should be able to ban the Rusaka itself out of this world as well. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rest for a bit. I need to think.
We sat on a bench located in a small garden square. The priestess girl suddenly took out a regular modern smartphone and started searching for information. Ugh, don't tell me that you do all this in accordance with some web guides.
No, I digitized all our family records and notes. It's a lot more practical this way. Rusaka. Check this. There are a few different types. It depends on their death, their motives, or desires. Whether they were baptized, that's actually garbage and has no effect. Based upon the smell and its desires, it should be a Bolotnitsa. Well, it might be a specific one. A Mavka. Have you seen anything weird on its back?
You know, I was actually somewhat preoccupied.
That's a pity. I would like to see that. It said her guts could be seen, though. Peculiar. Anyway, it actually doesn't matter in this case. They are practically the same. Therefore, their motives usually intercept with causes of their death. Either it's revenge for it, or it's their grief over the fact that they are dead. Which is mostly two sides of one coin.
Okay. What's in it for us?
Have you drowned anybody recently?
Sure. I do this kind of sick stuff every evening.
Well, it's classic then, I guess. The poor girl has drowned herself because of unrequited love. Now she keeps stalking you because she thinks you're her betrothed one.
Charming. On the other hand, it does make perfect sense. Of course, she fell in love with me, right? Actual girls, sprites, all of them can't take their eyes off me.
Hey you, do you copy?
A stick pricked me to make me come to my senses. Iris put away her phone and stood up to stretch.
What do you prefer? If you want to end it quickly, it's better to just kill it. Although I don't have any aspen steaks. Have you got any silver forks? It's best to use a knife, of course, but we can also try a spoon if we put an edge on it. Which is gonna ruin a perfectly normal silver spoon.
Isn't silver for vampires? Against vampires?
Aren't you clueless? Hey, look, these are good for any sprite. In fact, even humans die if you puncture them with stakes or silver knives.
Very funny. I don't have such things.
Me neither. Fine, we'll have to find aspen wood. Can you go now?
If it's not for long.
Nah, just a couple of bus stops away.
Fine, let's go. We also exchanged phone numbers on the way. Then bought an aspen plank in the nearest LM and asked to cut our plank into blocks. Charming. Can you carry it? A huge green bag seemed bigger than the girl herself.
It's nothing. Are you sure you're fine with giving all the excess wood to me?
Consider it my payment for your guard duty.
Thanks. See you soon then. I'll shave a steak for tomorrow.
And away she dashed, a really dressed girl with a huge green bag filled with wooden blocks. I'm at home, alone. Strange noises are coming from the corridor. Something is trickling down to the floor. I'm forcing myself to move there. Okay, it should disappear if I touch it, right? This thing follows me around all the time. I think I'm getting used to it. It's not that frightening anymore. From under the bathroom door, some liquid was oozing out. Ah, that's where you found a water surface. I gave the door a yank. She was sitting there, in the toilet. Her hair were dripping water. From underneath the hair, a heavy breathing was heard. She either saw me or somehow noticed my presence. And then she seemed delighted even. She held out her hands towards me. I pressed the flush button without remorse. She grabbed my arm, even scratched it a little bit with her claws. The Bolotnitsa was whirled away to the sewers, howling and growling on her way down. I cleaned the bathroom and decided to text Iris. Your spell does not work. It touched me. I immediately got a reply. I sent her my address and suddenly realized what I just had done. She is a weird girl with supposedly supernatural talents. I gave her my address. However, the thought of the creature sitting in my toilet made me reconsider. No. You can't just arrange something like that in someone's bathroom. Too difficult. Right? Iris ran to me in half an hour. I'd also seen that on her way, she was running literally. Her face turned red, her clothes askew, covered in aspen wood shavings. I had a weird thought that Iris was actually the first girl hanging in my room, casually taking a seat, despite all the other girls as wooed by my charms countless times before. I even felt irrationally shy and couldn't think of anything better than to offer her tea.
Yes, definitely.
She was drinking tea and checking my room.
So we've got two options. The first one is that I'm gonna live with you until...
The second one...
I haven't finished. Also, I wouldn't choose it either. I'm a respectable girl. The second one is that we have to figure out why my spell has failed.
Because of your clothes? I mean those garments.
Yes, must be it. The garment was meant for something after all. Fine, let me try again.
She read her spell, slowly saying her weird words while carefully touching me with her ribbon wand on each and every syllable.
How's that?
I can't feel any difference. Iris became upset. Well, I also didn't feel any difference before.
You didn't? Alright. I guess we have a method to check if it's working. Or I can stay overnight.
No way.
I was joking. What's with you being so emotional? Gee.
She sat on my bed and tapped it with her palm.
Lie down.
Is it actually, honestly, a trick? Did they, break into my apartment to make a setup? No, it's even easier than that. It's a hallucinatory drug. Ooh, it must be. Otherwise, I have to accept the fact that everything that is happening to me is happening for real.
She comes when you're close to the nav world. That's when you're relaxed, or petted when you're asleep.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Thus, come. Try to relax, and I am going to guard you.
I sat down, then put my head on Iris's lap and stretched my legs. She somewhat gasped, or did some kind of other noise, but said nothing. So soft, and smells really nice. I closed my eyes and immediately felt sleepy.
Bells are singing on our way to the world beyond.
Iris started to sing a quiet lullaby softly, accompanying her singing with gentle jingling of the bells on her wand. The words of her lullaby were somewhat creepy, but I wasn't scared or anxious. In fact, I felt calmer and even more sleepy. I wasn't the one on the receiving end of the blow, though. After I heard the sound, I immediately opened my eyes and jumped on my legs. Iris was on the floor, her knees pulled up to her stomach. It was standing there, in the middle of the room, but didn't move. Iris! She stood up, although faltered a bit. Suddenly, she darted towards the Bolotnitsa and thumped it with her stick on the forehead. The thing gasped, "Ah!" in pure surprise, then just dropped on the floor in a form of water droplets, which made my floor wet, obviously. I sighed and went to grab my floor mop. Did it hit you hard?
I'm fine. That one time, though, when I conjured the Shishiga away, I was lying flat for 2 weeks.
After finishing the cleaning process, we sat on the floor. The monster from the other world definitely was somewhat useful, since all my floors were at least perfectly clean.
My whole body covered with bruises and scratches. The most important thing is that my spell worked. She wanted to grab you, but immediately jerked her hands back.
Why didn't you put a spell on yourself?
I can't. It's impossible. You can only use your powers to help others.
I get it. Iris stood up and started gathering her belongings.
Nuh-uh. Rather, your fears kind of diminish when you know how it works. You fear what you don't understand. When you understand where monsters are coming from and what they can do, it's like thunder. First, people were scared of it. Now they know it's not the wrath of gods, it's... What is it, by the way? Curious, right? I don't know the exact scientific explanation, but I vaguely understand the way things are. And it makes me less scared. Is it because someone else's opinion is enough to feel safer? It's nothing. It's my duty. No. It doesn't work that way. We don't have any witches circles, clubs or agencies. I don't have any skill points to spend with each level. I don't even gain levels or loot or gems or money. It doesn't make any sense. Why? If you know you can help, would you just be sitting there watching how monsters make people suffer? Not me. No. Yeah. Right. See you tomorrow.
No one came during the night, almost disappointing even. Which is also stupid, but it's as if I got used to it. Saturday came. I didn't have to go to school, so Iris and I arranged our meeting in a park. Yo?
Hey, you! Hi!
Where are we heading to? Iris took an aspen stake from her funny little backpack. The stake was very real. Not the greatest work, I suppose, but its edge was definitely pointy and well designed.
There. We'll use this.
She gave me a folded handkerchief that she took out from her backpack as well.
This. Chew on it. It should help too.
I unfolded her handkerchief and found a couple of garlic cloves with a piece of bread. Charming. You know, I am not hungry. At all. I'll manage without. I folded the handkerchief again and put it into my pocket. Let's go. We soon reached a bridge. To be precise, we went under the bridge. There was a river that looked more like a stream. No one could be seen around since the bridge was located near an industrial area. What are we going to do here?
We are going to lure the thing. Then we'll capture it. And then I'll kill it. You'll be free to live your life after that, without thinking about supernatural stuff and all.
Sounds not so bad, honestly. The fact that she talks about killing this creature, this Bolotnitsa, with such prosiness, it's actually disturbing. Sure, the creature is a monster. It can kill me even. But I do feel remorse, sorrow maybe, for it. Meanwhile, Iris was drawing some kinds of symbols on the ground.
It can't be kept still just like that, so here.
She nodded at her symbols.
These are spells, similar to those that I put on you. Only their whim is different. Or their wishes, whatever. You have to be right here. Stay there, try to relax. When it's near, keep standing right there. Don't try to move away, or nothing's gonna work. Then the stake has to go right into her chest. I will have to give this Bolotnica a tiny bit of my physical essence, or I won't be able to interact with her. If it fails, run. My guarding spells won't work when she is here in the flesh. She'll be able to haul you out easily.
Got it. Iris touched her symbols on the ground with her wand and mumbled some more spells. After that, she took the stake in one hand, took her wand in the other, and performed a sharp movement while holding them both. Funny thing, a random passerby might think we are playing a weird game. Only there is no one here. Yeah. I stepped into the circle of symbols and closed my eyes. Relax. Just relax. A splash that I suddenly heard made me open my eyes. It was standing there, 30 meters away from me. Iris stood behind my back, hiding and waiting for the Bolotnica to crawl closer. A step. A step. First, the thing didn't even realize where it was or why it was here. But then, after it smelled my scent, it turned its head to me. She mooed in amusement and darted towards me, faltering because of her messy rags and rough hair. She was right in front of me. Not even that scary as she was before. I felt pity seeing her like this. With the power of the spell, she was unable to move and just stared at me greedily. There was another option, right? Why are we doing this? Iris jumped towards the Bolotnica from behind my back. Iris pressed her palm against the Rusalka's face and shut her eyes tight as if it hurt her. The Bolotnica just stood there, bemused. Do we have to do this? Iris pushed her to the ground with force, but she was swift and managed to grab Iris by her arm, thus making them both fall. Iris dropped the aspen stake. Blood streamed down her arm. The monster's claws made a deep wound. Now the garment began to turn red because of it. Using her wand, Iris gave the Bolotnica a blow right in the face, then jumped away from her.
Run!
Was that said for me? I dashed to grab the aspen stake. The Bolotnica charged at me. But I made it. I clenched my fingers around the wooden stake, and when the monster jumped, it met its pointy edge. The stake pierced its body with such an ease that it felt weird and creepy. I looked up at the Bolotnica's face, saw her eyes. Sad eyes, filled with astonishment. In a moment, she turned into a cloud of droplets, and it fell down to the ground like rain. I checked on Iris and helped her. Then we said our goodbyes and went our ways. We had no reason to see each other again. I was about to get back to my ordinary lifestyle. She was about to get back to her unordinary one. What if I learned about her? Is she a brave, evil fighter? What else? Can you live your normal life if you know how to help others and still do nothing? Does she have enough strength on her own to handle all this by herself? No, she doesn't. She was hurt back then. She will be hurt again. I decided to write her a message. Hey, I still have your handkerchief. Do you want to meet? I'll give it back. She agreed to meet me. One more time, I am standing beside the school gates, waiting for a girl. Dressed in a weird piece of clothing. It's still cutely charming.